Good evening, all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are all welcome to our symposium today. I would like us to, welcome everybody. Welcome, Samuel. Can we give a thumbs up? Welcome, everybody. We once again welcome you to AIS for this quarter. This should be our second symposium for this year, and we are glad to have you here. Um, yes, please let's keep up the the emojis coming up. Let's keep pushing our emojis. Let's signify our presence. Thank you so much. Thank you, Victor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joyce. You're all welcome. All right. With no further ado, I would like us to go straight to what we have today. So I'll be sharing with us what our agenda, what our programs is going to look like for today. Um, okay, so for today, our agenda looks like this. First, we'll be having an introduction of what this symposium looks like. Then we go next to the icebreaker. And the third agenda we have is where we're going to be having our first speaker. Yes, and after which we're going to take question and answers. Then we take another icebreaker. Then we move to our second speaker. And again, we're going to take questions after the second speaker must have presented. Then we wrap it up with summarizing what we have all gone through. Then we move to our social awareness, then closing. And I would like us to be very attentive. I believe we have all come here to learn or to get one or two things. I would like you to please us. Okay. With no further ado, I would like to invite uh, my colleague that will be joining me because I will not be doing this alone. We are a team, and she'll be coming up to do our icebreaker, our first icebreaker. But before our icebreaker, I would like to say that AI is actually taking over every strata, every field, and the educational aspect is not an exemption. So that's why we have actually thought about bringing up this symposium to enlighten us and to bring us abreast to what AI is doing already in the educational sector. Africa is already um, the future work of AI of the world, as it was pre- um, proposed by 2030. We are going to have a whole number of youths, young people who are driving the force of work across the world. So, and that is part of our vision, our mission to be part of this workforce. And that includes why we are doing this AIPS. I would like to invite my colleague, Mrs. Space, to come up for AI, the icebreaker. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I hope we are having a good evening. Good evening, everyone. So, without taking much time, we'll just go straight into our icebreaker session. I'll be dropping the link. I'll be dropping the link to the application we're using. It's called Galore. So just check the chat box and sign in so that you participate. Check the chat box. The link to icebreaker this evening, it's in the chat box, in our message box. Check it and be ready. So this isn't going to take much of our time. I just need you to come up with your responses as quick as possible, just to get to know us better, to know our expectations for this night, and to know how we are feeling. So I look forward to your responses. Please respond as soon as you can. As soon as you open your link, you can start sending in your responses. Okay. Please, are we all logged into Gallo now? Are we all click the link? Please begin. You can start sending your responses right away. Let me just project that quickly. Okay, so I hope we are all ready and we have begun responding to the questions. So let's send in our responses. Let me check. Please click the link in the chat box. If you are yet to get that, click the link. It's in the chat box to Gallo events, gallo.events, and you see the questions there. I want to see our responses. So the first question is, what country are you joining us from? In Nigeria. Please send in your responses. Send in your responses. Nigeria, yes. Nigeria, we have a lot of Nigerians. Yes, Nigeria, that's good to know. What states? Taraba, Anambra, Benue, wow, Lagos. It's good to have every one of you here. It's good to have you here. We are excited to have you, and we believe this evening session is going to be pleasant one. So what best describes your role? Wow, we have a lot of people, from researchers to teachers to students, and even others that are just interested in learning. You are all welcome. This is beautiful. We are happy to have you, and I believe that tonight's session is going to be valuable to you, no matter the field you are in. You are all welcome. So what's one challenge that you think AI can help you solve? We have some responses already coming in. Lesson delivery, challenge in coding, bridging the knowledge gap, malpractice. Wow, interesting responses. Thank you for your responses. How to use AI to do research. Yes, I believe we'll be talking about that tonight. Make research. Beautiful, beautiful. Research methodology. Yeah, bridging the knowledge gap. Thank you all for your responses. It's good to see. I hope you get value tonight, and I know you will. I know you get value, and I believe the questions you have come with will be answered as the speakers present. Thank you all for your responses. And then one thing you want to learn from this event. Well, we have a lot of responses. How to navigate AI in research. Yes. How to apply AI in education. Yes, I believe we're going to learn this tonight, and I know we'll all have a fruitful time. Please sit tight. Don't go away. We have 2 speakers for tonight. I know that each of these sessions will be valuable to us. So don't go away. Sit tight, listen, and pen down your questions. Write down your questions. Like the facilitator has said, there'll be time for questions. So we'll go right into our session for tonight. Thank you everyone for participating. It was great. Great having you all again. Thank you very much, and enjoy the evening.
Thank you so much, Miss Peace. That was a wonderful one. And I think we would have to push from this point. Um, we'll go next into introducing our first speaker for tonight. And I would like you to please do well to get your pen and paper so that you won't miss out in what we are having this night. So our first speaker is Dr. Daniel O. Adeboye. He's an educational technologist, consultant, trainer, and passionate educator dedicated in improving teaching and learning through technology. He holds a PhD in education and technology and has spent several years training educators across primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. As a lead consultant at Tri-Setting Ed Network, he helps to schools and teachers effectively use technology to enhance learning outcomes. He is also committed in monitoring educators through various learning communities and is passionate about serving God through education and lifelong learning. As can we make a welcome to Dr. Daniel? I hope Dr. Daniel is here with us already. Can we? Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome, sir. We are happy to have you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Victor, and I am happy to be with us today. Let me also join the hosts to greet everybody and welcome from all over the world. I saw somebody from Brazil. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be having a very brief session together. First, before I go ahead, let me appreciate the AIPS team. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. They are my brethren, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do this on this platform. The topic of AI is quite an interesting one. And as we go ahead, we believe that you will get one or two things. I've already seen that quite a number of us have needs around AI education, teaching and learning, and particularly with research. And I believe that the second speaker will be speaking much more on the issue of research. I'll be talking more on the matter of pedagogy in education and how AI can help us as teachers or as educators. Before I go ahead, let me greet those of us in Nigeria a happy Democracy Day. It's a wonderful time in our nation, but beyond all that is going on, I have great hope in Nigeria, and I believe that all that God has said concerning us as a nation will definitely come to pass. So happy Democracy Day to every Nigerian on the call. I believe I have permission. Yes, I see people greeting. Thank you very much. I believe I have the permission to share my screen. Can I go ahead to share my screen?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead to share your screen.
All right. Thank you very much. Please let me know when you can see my screen. All
Yes,
right.
we can see your screen now, sir.
All right. Okay, so we are looking at AI enhanced pedagogy, the smarter teaching methods with AI. And for me, this is one of the very, when I saw this topic, it was quite interesting to me because in the wake of AI, the subject has shifted from our teaching to AI. So pre-AI days, now I'm talking about before COVID and just after COVID, before the wake of AI I mean, generative AI that as we know it in 2022, 23, thereabout. We used to, are we together? We used to do trainings. We used to do workshops, seminars for teachers. Teachers would gather together and we'll have conversations. We will deal with general subjects. We will deal with things like methodology. We will deal with things like lesson planning. We will deal with classroom management. We will deal with engaging the students. I mean, I ran a training on creativity. How do you engage and sustain the creativity amongst young learners? I've done a training before on assessment. And when we do such trainings, we not only look at it in the theoretical way, but we begin to look at how can technology help us to handle these several areas. The goal was not about the technology. The goal was usually around the concept. And then we will now find how we can use technology to enhance that learning experience. But in the wake of AI, as it usually is, every time there's a new technology or there's a new innovation that comes up, we all leave our conventions and begin to discuss the topic. So we've had many people now speak about AI. And so gradually, the goal is shifting from learning to AI, and AI is simply a tool. So I was quite excited when the topic given to me was not to talk about AI. So I'm sorry if I'm not going to be flashing around tools. The topic that I was given is to deal with pedagogy, but now deal with how can AI, how can technology enhance that topic. We want to be looking at smarter teaching methods. So we are dealing with teaching methods. How do we teach? How is our teaching effective? Or how do we now enhance it with AI? So I'll be asking two questions, and I wish I had access to Galore. I thought of it earlier, but that's not possible anymore. So you just use the chat because of our time. What is your biggest teaching pain point? We are dealing with teaching. I hope the people can chat. Host, please help me so that they can respond.
Yes, they can chat. They
All
can
right.
also still use Galore. They're already on the floor. They can drop their questions. And
Okay, so you
we can
can,
project.
if you use Galore, then you can project Galore to me. Will that be fine?
Yes, yeah, we can project for you. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Galore. Since we are on Galore already, what is your biggest teaching pain point? And then somebody can project that for me. Let's see very quickly. I don't have much time. What is your biggest teaching pain point? No, you may not be able to speak. Just go to Galore and type your response, and then the AIPS team will present for me. Or if you prefer in the chat, wherever you want to respond to me. I have my eyes on the chat. Grading of scripts and generating questions for assessment. Yes, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Agbo. Grading of script. Yes, grading. I'm a teacher, and I know that that's one of the biggest pain points, always, grading. And then questions, assessment. Yes, anybody else? If you see anything pop up on Galore, please project for me so that I can move on. Teaching aid. Thank you. Getting resources. Mr. Victor Onyekwe spoke about teaching aid. Getting resources that enhance your teaching. Preparing a lesson. Yes, definitely. The thoughts that goes through preparing your lesson. Very important. Very important. If I get one more, I will just go ahead with my presentation. Just one more. Pain point as a teacher. As an educator, what is your biggest pain point? Just one. Just one. Anybody else? Generating practice questions for students. Yes, very, very important. So sometimes when we need to generate questions that students can practice and make it very engaging and personalize it, it becomes difficult. You are thinking about the different students and you are thinking about how to make that work. Second question, what is your biggest fear about AI as a teacher? I can almost predict this. What is your biggest fear? Your biggest fear? I mean, in the icebreaker earlier, I saw people already speak about some of these pain points and some of these fears. I remember someone at that time talked about cheating. Yes, people are afraid that teachers, students rather, will cheat using AI. Anyone, anybody, very quickly, your biggest fear about using AI as a teacher? If I just get one and then we can go ahead. We need to be looking at what we are doing, where we are specifically, and how we can enhance that teaching with technology and particularly with AI. I didn't get any response from this. Fear of over-reliance on AI, yes. And that it will kill inspiration, yes, definitely. Too much dependence on it for teaching and learning, yes, definitely. As a teacher, a fear is that AI will kill my inspiration. AI will kill creativity. AI will kill critical thinking. And critical thinking is very useful, very, very important for students and for the next generation that we are going on. Now, we need to begin to shift the discussion and shift the focus from which AI tool should I use? And this is where most teachers begin to fail. You are going into a class and the first thing that goes in your mind is, what AI tool am I going to use today? No, you are asking the wrong question. The right question actually should be, what kind of learning experience do I want to create? And this applies not only for a teacher. You are a designer, you are an administrative person. You don't go to your office in the morning saying, which AI tool do I want to do today? No, you go to your office saying, what tasks do I need to accomplish today? And then probably one of your tasks as an educational administrator, as some of us are from the icebreaker, is that you are going to write multiple letters to different stratas of your parents, maybe across different states. That is the task. The question to be asking, what learning experience do I want to create? What do I want my students to learn? What do I want my students to achieve? What effect do I want created? And we have discussed some of them when we are dealing with the pain points. You are asking yourself, I want to write a lesson plan. I want to personalize my lesson experience. I want them to have multiple kinds of instructional materials. I want to go beyond the charts and cardboard that I can paste on the screen. I now want them to be able to have something easier to handle, something that they can do it. So the question is shifting from what tool should I use to what kind of experience do I want to create? Now, always pedagogy should drive technology. Pedagogy should drive AI. And it's important for us to talk about pedagogy. And I'm very interested in this because I did my PhD in pedagogy, and I'll be looking at some of the things that I worked on. Your pedagogy is like your rails that your train rides upon. Now, just imagine with me a train trying to move without rails. Like we normally say, that's an accident going to happen. There's nothing that provides guidance. There's nothing that provides the track with which the technology should run past, with which technology should move. We need to be thinking pedagogy first. We need to be thinking pedagogy even before we think AI tools. Whether it's technology, do I want to make use of Google Form or I want to make use of ChatGPT? Do I want to use Napkin AI or I want to go into Notebook LM? The tool is not the first thing to think about. What I'm thinking about first is, what exactly do I want to get across? What do I want to teach? What is my learning outcome? What is my behavioral objective? What do I want achieved at the end of this lesson? That's number one. Number two, how do I want it achieved? What resources do I need? Then you can now start thinking, what can support this? Is there any technology tool that can support this? Is there any AI tool that can be useful to support this? Let me move very quickly. So let me introduce to you the activated classroom teaching. Is a pedagogy that has 6 layers, and this is research-based And I mean, I could have used any other framework, but because I'm quite familiar with this is what I try to use. Even with technology generally, I just decided to stick with this. So you have consumption. Consumption is the basic level. Consumption is simply students are sitting down, they are listening to you. There's no activity, there's no engagement, nothing is going on. I mean, a lecturer or a teacher stands in front of the classroom and just teaches. Not much engagement is going on with it. The students are consuming content. But then you move up that ladder and you get to creation, where students have the opportunity to curate data and pull resources together. And then we move up, and the higher you go on this ladder, the more engaging it is for students, the easier it is for the students to accomplish something. And then you get to conversation, where you are no longer, I mean, everybody sit down, cover your lips, and if you must talk, you must raise your hand. That's like the factory setting. Now in these modern classrooms, you engage conversations, you put them in groups, you make them to sit. Then you talk about correction, where things are getting better. And we say there's nothing perfect. I mean, I just imagined the world without edit. How many of us remember when WhatsApp didn't have edit, where you typed it? And I used to remember when you have sent and you discover the error, you send the error, you send the correction of the error and put a star in front of it. I don't know how we survived those days, but then now we have edits everywhere. I imagine a Microsoft Word that there's no backspace or there's no delete. What happens? But the real world is really not like that. There's opportunity to correct. There's opportunity to get better. You can write something as a draft and go back and edit it and get better. Then we are getting higher. There's creation, where the students are able to create content. And creation is a very powerful pedagogy. The more you create, the better you become. At the top, chaos. I know when you hear chaos, you are thinking of, no, there must be classroom management. Everybody must be calm. No, chaos is not everywhere being scattered. Chaos is an opportunity that you have to put meaning to experiences and make meaning out of situations that you have. Now, let me map this and now begin to talk about how can AI enhance these experiences that we are looking at, because the real thing is not to show you the ACT or the activated classroom teaching framework. No, the issue is that we need to be moving our students from one level of activity to the other. Your students should not sit down in your class and they are just, putting their hands like this and nothing is going on. I remember in the early days of COVID, there was this video going on everywhere of a lecturer who taught for over an hour and he was on mute the entire time. And he did not know he was on mute. The students could not get across to him. They tried to call him, he didn't pick because he was so focused on his Zoom meeting, and he was on mute the entire lecture, only for him to finish at the end of the either 1 hour or 90-minute session, and he suddenly discovered he was on mute. Now, the reason is because the students were not engaged. The students did not talk. The students did not hold conversations. They were not correcting. They were not creating. They were not making meaning. Your entire semester, your entire class, your term can be like students in consumption. No engagement, no interaction. But how can we now map AI to help this kind of teaching so that it becomes more engaging for them? Let's pick it one after the other and see how AI can enhance our learning. And this is where we spend a bit of time. I know from the schedule I have just barely about 10 minutes, but I will try to rush through to the end. The important thing through this session, if you do not get anything, is to remember that we don't look for tools first. The important thing is, what is the learning outcome? What do I want achieved? Then I am now finding out what resources would I need. Would a simple sheet solve it? Will a practice sheet solve it? Will I find a technology tool that can work, or can AI assist me or enhance that learning outcome? So the first one is consumption. Of course, traditionally, you read textbooks, you watch video. Even when you introduce technology, you just sit down and watch video. And I mean, if I ask us, how many of us have slept off while watching a video before? Yes, probably quite a number of us. But if I ask you, when we were young and we used to I'm sorry, for those of you who are not in Nigeria, you may not understand this. In Nigeria, when we were younger, we used to build house with sand. So you go out into the sand, you put your leg inside the sand, and then you mold sand around your leg. How many of you ever slept off while doing such an activity? Definitely not. Because you are engaged. Your senses are engaged. Your hands are working. Your legs are working. You're interacting with the things. Nobody sleeps off. But we sleep off while we are reading. It's simply because it's consumption. So how can technology help? How can AI help? AI can help you summarize content. It's still consumption, but AI helps nevertheless. It explains difficult concepts. AI can generate audio explanations like in Notebook LM, and I will talk a little bit more when I get to one of the layers that has Notebook LM more. But ChatGPT helps to summarize content. So you are trying to, you have a whole lot of textbook for your students, and you want to summarize the content for them. You want to make it easier for them. Put it into ChatGPT, put it into Gemini. It can summarize the textbook, summarize the concept, explain it. I mean, you can have something like explain photosynthesis or explain this to a 12-year-old. Now, that prompt is too general, and there are principles of prompting. The AI experts will be talking more about that. But like I said, I'm not here to deal with AI as a concept. I'm just saying that you can use AI to enhance your students' learning, even at the consumption level. When I move higher a bit, I now go to the point of curation. Curation meaning that the students are gathering resources. And previously, the typical example I normally give is that when I was in school, when you need to get an information, maybe you are doing a research, you are being given an assignment, you need to go to a physical library. You must know where your library is in the school. You walk into that library, and when you walk into the library, you need a whole map entirely. I remember the first day I walked into my university library, there was this map at the entrance, and in my mind, I'm like, I came to read. Why do I have to study a map before I find my way? So you are going to this department, you go the stairs, you turn to your left. When you get to second floor, you do this. I mean, a complex building just to get an information. But moving from there, not many of us go to a library again. Now we now have Google search, and Google search was a perfect example of curation. It goes everywhere, gathers resources from what you want, and puts it down in a list. So you go from link to link trying to find out. The skill at that time was determining what was authentic, ability to get which link and where. So we say we find about 5 different links or 10 different links and put them together. But now with Gemini, it does the entire work for you. That's creation at its best. So it can generate summaries, it can create study guides, it can help you organize information. As a teacher, with Gemini, you have your context. It can generate study guides for your students. It can at this point give you a assignment, assessment questions, practice questions. I came across this tool recently. It's called the Edge Eloquent. It's made by Google. Beautiful tool. When I put it on, I can record my thoughts and it transcribes it in real time. It turns my voice to text, and that's not all. It then uses AI to refine it right before you. So at the end of the day, you get a properly refined text broken in paragraphs of what you have just written. Very beautiful tool. That's Edge Eloquent, in case you are not familiar with that. AI can enhance your learning in that space. If I move away from there and I go to conversation, and this is where AI becomes very powerful, particularly for someone like myself. You can ask questions. And previously, you needed to find an expert before you can ask your questions. But now with AI, you now have AI tutors. AI can serve as a tutor. AI can serve as a language, a partner, a debate partner. It can help for professional development. And what that means is, for example, I can go into Gemini Live and hold a conversation about my career, about a topic. I want to teach this topic. How do I go about it? You can put your students in group together with AI. Any of these tools, Gemini Live, ChatGPT Live, any of these live these tools that have the live version, Grok Live, any of them, and they can hold a conversation. Even in the chat, that's a simple, basic way of having a conversation. AI can enhance learning in conversations, learning in groups, learning, setting a deadline for yourself. And maybe I should speak about professional development. AI helps you to develop yourself as an educator. Now you do not need to wait to attend a big course anywhere. There are many free courses online, and I think AIPS provide such available courses on their platform. But even beyond AIPS, you can sit with an AI tool and set a target. I want to learn this skill, or I want to learn this topic. Plan a 7-day training for me, and then it lists it for you, and then you can go step by step and learn. That is that about conversation. Let me move very quickly because of my time. Correction. You can improve your outcomes through correction. And this is where the issues around feedback, around assessment, around questions come in. And AI excels here very, very, very much. You can improve your learning through correction. So previously, when your students need to write a test, you go to class, you give them the test, they sit down and write the exam or the test, they submit the script back to you, you take it away for some 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe more. You sit down and grade each one, and obviously you just use a marking scheme and you just mark. And I've always said that's just doing correction. And more often than not, we just simply say, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. The student does not know why what was wrong and how he can get it better next time. Now, that is why we should be doing correction. But I often discover that correction itself now, for most teachers, or myself growing up, the teacher will just come and write correction and simply just write the correct thing on the board. So here am I, I'm looking at my script, I didn't get it right. I'm looking at the board says that's supposed to be the correct thing, and I really cannot spot the difference. So I'm not helped either way. AI changes all of that. Number one, AI can give you instant feedback, personalized feedback based on your content. So as a teacher, for example, my students have submitted, and there's a course I handle. My students have submitted their assignment. I'm grading it. I'm not just marking and assigning a number, a figure. You have scored 8/10. No, that's not grading. That's just putting score. The real work comes to feedback. Why did you score 8/10? How could you have scored 10/10? What did you do wrong? What could have been better? AI helps you in designing rubrics that can be used across students. AI helps with all of that. And AI tools that can be used. Of course, iteration with ChatGPT is a very simple way of correcting. And you should never pick the first response from any AI tool as your final response. Criticize it, ask a question, ask a follow-up question, try to find out, what if I did it differently? What other response would I get? Grammarly is a beautiful tool. I've been using it for years now. I use it on all my devices. Works very well. It not only corrects your grammar, I use Grammarly to train me to get better. So when Grammarly begins to put those marks under my work, I'm not just approving and approving. I'm checking why. I'm reading the explanation. When it rewrites a paragraph, I read it first. So the next time I'm writing, my writing gets better. This is how our students can be trained to get better with AI. I want to believe you are hearing me. I'm not hearing any responses again. Before I go ahead, please let me know if you are with me. All right, thank you very much. Now, as you go higher and you get to creation, you now begin to see how AI can enhance creation. And creation is where our students begin to excel. They can create podcasts. They can create infographics. They can distill their knowledge in different forms. Even a simple writing of a composition, composing a song, writing a poem about a particular topic, it's a very easy way. And oh, why not? I'm sure many of us have seen several of these songs, music that have come out now, AI generated music albums already going on. AI is powerful now with all of these tools. This helps creation. And when a student sits down to distill his notes or distill a concept into an image, into an infographic, into a song, depending on what attracts that student. He learns better. He will not likely forget because he went through the process of prompting. He went through the process of writing probably a storyboard. Yeah, maybe AI must have generated that, but he prompted it somehow. And then the creation process, maybe he did some editing. He won't forget that concept because he went through the process of creation. We can get our students to this creation level and it can help us. And somebody said is looking for how to get learning materials. Notebook LM, very powerful, has powerful tools from audio podcasts, even to video generation, even in creating of slides. Notebook LM does quite well. Gamma AI does well. Canva AI does well. All of these are tools that I use at different levels. I remember taking a course recently. I'm teaching some students, let me use at secondary level, and I was teaching them a topic and I have explained it, I've given it to them, but I still see a bit of gaps. And then I was wondering, what do I do to enhance that? So I went into Notebook LM, picked my notes. Of course, my notes is typed, picked my note and put it into Notebook LM, and first interacted with the note. So I began to ask questions like a student. I'm querying the note, I'm asking questions, and it kept generating more. When he generated a whole bunch of further explanations, I saved all of that as additional sources. And then at the end, I selected all the sources and I asked it to generate a video overview of it. Beautiful. By the time I'm playing it in the classroom, my students want to listen to it, watch it a second time, a third time. It enhances their experience. This is how creation can help. And this is how AI can enhance their creation experience. And then finally at the top is making meaning out of scattered things. So we deal with things like mind maps, pattern identification. And in research, this is where research comes very, very much. You have 5 articles or maybe 50 of them. You pour all of it in Notebook LM and you ask it to distill the knowledge. You ask it to identify themes, common themes, identify gaps, identify loopholes. This is how AI can enhance your learning. It can synthesize research. It can help you produce audio overviews and all of that. Now, I need to move very fast. These are the pillars of AI enhanced pedagogy, and maybe this is what you should not forget here. Pedagogy always comes before technology. And I wish you can say that. Maybe put that in your chat. Pedagogy before technology. Pedagogy before AI. Pedagogy must always come before it. Use AI to increase your thinking and not to replace it. AI must be used to increase, to make it better, to amplify your thinking, not to replace your thinking. Pedagogy comes before technology. And then you get your students to move from one level to the next. Don't be satisfied with them just consuming content. Don't be satisfied with them just going to go and summarize your notes in ChatGPT and they just pour it back for you. You see, they copy your notes, paste it in ChatGPT, and copy out what ChatGPT gives them and paste it for you to mark. No, that's at the very low level. Engage them further. Move them to correction. Challenge them to challenge the AI response. Challenge them to distill it into an infographic, into a song, into a picture, into something that can help their learning. So the question, like we have asked again and again, is not which AI tool should I use? The question you should be asking, how can AI or technology help me active learning? AI will not replace pedagogy. Actually, AI should amplify pedagogy. We should be thinking pedagogy first. We should be thinking pedagogy, thinking methodology, thinking about how this can work, and then now finding out, how can AI help me? How can technology help me? All right, I think I've gone beyond my time. Thank you very much. It was a very short time, but I hope you're able to get something.
Wow. Wow.
Peradventure, there will be any questions, we can take that. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Daniel. We are so much, that's loaded. I know that we are all following and we are all learning. By now, I believe you must have had many questions, many things you want to ask. I think now is time for it. Please, you can drop your questions, and I think my team members will help me project questions that are already on Glamour. So please, if you have questions, rush to Glamour now. Questions, we'll be collecting questions. That was a wonderful one. We could see that AI could be used for a lot of things, not just as someone who is going there to collect information, but who is also going to question what AI is doing, who is going there to make use of AI to improve learning, to bring up infographics, to bring up videos, even songs. Songs are one of the easiest way of passing down knowledge, and AI is already helping us with just few prompts, and we can hear that more. So I would like to take our questions. I don't know any of if our questions are ready. Please, can you help me project our questions so that we can quickly take it? We don't have much time again. Yes. Questions. Okay. I don't know if okay. Let me share my screen. I think I can see some questions there. If yeah, the first question says, can I get a recording? Yes, we can get a recording by God's grace. Then second, can I start? I can okay, start a roadmap. Yes, on AIPS, we have a roadmap around AI for educators. How can I use AI for online teaching? Okay, sir, I think this one should be going for you now. How can I use AI for online teaching? I think we have just 6 questions. Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, AI can be used for online teaching, but like we said, the question is not about AI. The question should be, what exactly do you want to get achieved in online teaching? What tasks are you trying to solve? So, and in online teaching, there are various things. For example, you want to grade. If it is grading in an online class, there are tools you can use. For example, in this meeting now, this call, for example, there are AI tools that are being used to take notes. Gemini AI can be used to take notes. I make use of Phantom AI to make notes. There are different tools that can be used to make notes if it is in getting notes and summaries. If you are looking for tools that like engagement tools, Galore is one that is being used in on this call. So, like I said, the question is not about the tools. Basically, the question is usually about what do you want achieved, what's your learning outcome. If it is creating guides, student guides, yes, there are AI tools that you can use. Gemini can be used. And then we need to now, maybe at another time, you can have a different session on how do you use AI in terms of prompting, correct prompting, and all of that. That's the way I would answer that question. Thank you, Mr. Victor.
Okay, next question. How can I start a roadmap? Okay, I think towards the end of this symposium, we'll be guiding everybody how to start a roadmap on AIPS platform. Right? I need to learn more on how to use the AI to write a lesson plan. Okay. Also in the roadmap, that will be handled as you learn. But I think you can equally maybe ship in one or two things you have as an
Sorry,
experience.
Victor, there are more questions, so just go through them so that you can answer all at once. You can
Oh,
refresh up there. There are more questions actually. So I think
okay.
these questions.
All right. Okay. How can I implement all these components of the framework in lesson delivery, considering the little we have to cover our lessons? Okay, sir.
Right, let me
I think this goes to you.
respond to that. Just a minute, let me respond to that very quickly. The question is on the question of implementing all of this because of the little time. I guess time was omitted there. Now, definitely, because of the shortness of my own time, I couldn't go in depth, but you are not expected to use the entire framework in every lesson. You need to just pick one. The question is, what do I want accomplished at this particular lesson? And in that lesson, for example, you can now say, okay, let me make use um, of um, of an engagement, maybe consumption or maybe creation. I want to do creation. You are setting up your class for creation. Then you are now picking which AI tool am I going to use. You don't need more than one. You don't need more than one framework. You don't need to use all of them in every class. I believe I've answered that. You don't need to use all of them. Just pick one per time and then now determine which tool can I use this time around. And then we can move from there. Yes, next question.
Okay, next question. I need a brief view and talk on the last slide. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't know which is the last slide you're referring to. It's probably the one on the the pillars of AI, and I spoke about those three pillars. The important thing to remember is pedagogy goes before technology always. The what, the how goes before what am I going to use. So the first question is, what do I want accomplished? How do I want it to be accomplished? Then I'm now saying, what tools can I use for that? I think we should go to another question. That's probably what that person is asking for.
Okay, sir.
How do
Also,
we adopt
how
AI in the classroom in secondary school? Start small, start with one thing. Like I said, the goal is not AI. The goal is, what do I want to accomplish? So pick something, start very small. I mean, how did I introduce AI where I work? And sometimes it's not anything complex. It's just that my colleagues just suddenly discovered that whereas everybody is spending 1 week setting exam questions, my exam questions are ready in 2 hours. And they're wondering, how did you do that? That's how I did it. So because my notes are already typed, and then I put it inside my AI tool, and then I iterate. So I mean, it's not in, I didn't say in 10 minutes, I said in 2 hours, probably in 3 hours, because my work still goes into it. I'm still looking through it. But the goal is not AI, and the goal is not AI too. Today we are all shouting ChatGPT. Tomorrow another tool can come up that may be better. So it's not about the tool, it's about what we want accomplished and finding the right resources that can be useful for it. So that's how to adopt. Tomorrow, for example, you can just create a video and show it to your students in a classroom. Your colleagues will stand and watch and say, how did you create that interesting video? I used AI. I say, is it AI that can do that? Teach us now. And that's how we begin to adopt it. All right, why do we talk about AI in classrooms when most of our classrooms do not have access to computers? All right, because sometimes we do not need computers, and AI has become ubiquitous now. So on your phone, sometimes how do I handle these things? I go to my class. There may not be any, no class, no computer, no nothing, but I have my smartphone. So I go to my class. My students are asking questions. I say, okay, let's talk to AI. And then I bring out my phone and go to Gemini Live. And I say, okay, ask your question again. And he asks his question, my AI is listening, and my AI responds. That is AI. And I can also pick that AI, prepare my content, and just come to display it in the classroom. So we must not wait until we have perfect conditions. Even the Bible says, he that waits until there's perfect conditions. So you don't wait until there's perfect conditions. You make do with what you have as you have it, and then you move on. Yes, I think I've answered that question as well.
yes, sir. Thank you so much. You
Oh,
have
and
done
that's the
justice
last
to.
question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We are so much grateful. Can we react? Can we send our emojis? I know that we have all learned. We have all our thinking pattern now will be different. I believe by Monday we must have all come up with one or two strategies, one or two content, one or two things to use to improve our way of passing knowledge to our young ones. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Daniel. We are glad to have you. Next, moving straight to our next speaker on the line. We have Mr. Sokuga Victor Atebe. He's a development strategist, writer, and speaker, passionate about the intersection of technology, education, leadership, and societal development. He helps in individual and organization help individuals and organizations think critically, embrace innovation responsibly, and create meaningful impact. Through his work, he continues to inspire learning, leadership, and positive change in community and workshop. With a round of applause, can we welcome Mr. Sokuga Victor Atebo? You are welcome, sir. I hope he's around.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
very much. I want
Thank
to
you,
be
sir.
sure you can hear me. All right, thank you very much. And thank you, our last speaker. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do some setup here. Thank you, our last speaker. I followed your work and I followed what you said. I think there's a lot we've learned from this. And he was particularly speaking from the lens of our instructors. Yeah, those ones who are teachers. And for me now, I'm going to be speaking to the students. So yeah, let's get on with it. And thank you very much for that insightful session. Thank you again. All right, so for me today, I would really want to make mine very, very much practical. That was what I was told to do. So it's more like we're going to have some sort of a hands-on session. So I'm speaking to students now, how students can use AI without losing their minds. You know, one of the problems really, and it's not really a myth because it's true. Yeah, most students today are not really, there's a current research now that students are not as smart as they used to be some 20 years back. And it's like the generation before, that's the generation before the 2000s, like they were smarter, they could calculate things with their head, they were very, very fast, and then very vast too with their knowledge. But our own generation now, the Gen Zs, like everything, we're looking for assistance, we're looking for help, we just cannot do things by ourselves. And that's really a big problem. You see, I remember the time I am growing up, I was very, very small then. And my dad was like, just that thing you cannot calculate, you're trying to get a calculator for it. And somehow we would feel bad, like, okay, I can't calculate in my mind now. I'm getting a calculator for this, and he can do that without all of those things. And how is it going to be like? Is it that he's smarter than me? I'm not smart at my own age and all of that. But today now, it's not just about a calculator. Because somehow I looked at it this way, that if you're using a calculator to do what you are doing and what you have to do, and for me, I'm able to do it in a very, very short time using an AI tool to get done with my analysis, do my calculations, and then get things done on time. So the thing is about efficiency. These tools will keep advancing. Just recently now, we're finding out that, okay, it's moving beyond artificial intelligence to synthetic intelligence. And the synthetic intelligence is not just it's not just going to do stuff for you. Like, it's not, you know, the way AI works, it works based on reinforced knowledge. So you keep adding to what you know. It's based on, the algorithms are based on what you fed it, based on the information that's available to it. So it cannot really think by itself. Synthetic AI will go beyond that and get to think of your task. Okay, what your task is, work on it, propose, not just propose ideas like what you should do. It's actually going to start doing it even before you ask it to. And then that's really a step forward. And then we have on this side of the world, we have people who are still grappling with it, like, okay, is AI for me? It's not for me. Can I work with it and all of that? We have all of the AI detectors and everything. The reason why exactly are we are saying we should use AI tools, and then we are also putting AI detectors in our work. Now, the thing is that AI is not here to replace your human mind. The truth is that you won't really be able to even enjoy it. You won't have a good output if you are doing it without your mind. And that's where we have a problem, because most people are dealing with AI tools without their minds. They just want to do it on their own. Just ask ChatGPT, get this for me. And then you have people who are preparing for exams, and you're not reading, you're preparing for an exam, for a class you've not attended, you didn't attend any class there, and you are preparing for the exam, and there's nothing just there like that, and you expect AI to get it. You know, I was also following the comments here. I saw that some people were like, yeah, how is AI going to help in exam malpractice and all of that? Or how is it going to help deal with exam malpractice? That's what I meant to say. Well, this session is really going to open our minds to something here. Some students use AI to answer questions they didn't read, from lectures they did not attend, for courses that they don't understand, and then they pray for a miracle during exams. You know, most of the times, even just like Doc was speaking now, when a student submits an AI-generated work, you just look at it, you know that this one is not your work. You don't have a hand in it. So how do we really use AI without losing our mind? I'm sorry, I'm supposed to present a slide, but I have my slides, but I'm having some. I should have dealt with this before now, but I would get it up very shortly. So AI should be a bicycle for the mind, not a replacement for the brain. And I'm going to pick that again. AI should be a bicycle for the mind. It keeps your mind in motion. It does not replace your brain. It is not a replacement for your brain. So you're to use AI to expand your capacity and not necessarily abandon your responsibility. So you have a responsibility in it. AI is like a prediction engine. It reorganizes information quickly. It can assist reasoning, but it does not replace wisdom. It does not replace your experience. It does not replace your human thing there. So information is not necessarily intelligence. There's a difference between information and intelligence. Information is not necessarily intelligence. And intelligence itself, again, is not even the wisdom. But you as a human being, you have, yes, intelligence, and you have that wisdom, that ability to be able to apply that intelligence to a context. So even the intelligence applies information to a context, and then that's how it goes like that. So there are three types of students that use AI. We have the copier. Those ones, they use AI to escape effort. They just copy assignments. They avoid thinking. They cannot explain their own submissions. They don't know anything about it. They just see the questions. This is what we have to do, and then they pour it in like that. All right. Yes, pour it in like that. So we have the copiers like that. A student who outsources all thinking, all his thinking and training, just outsource it, fully dependent on AI tools. Then we have the second group. They are the assistant user. So they use AI like a calculator for learning support, that kind of thing. So they are the assistant user. They use AI to explain difficult concepts, just like we're learning just now. And they use AI for summarizing lectures. They use AI for brainstorming. They use AI for generating past questions. They use AI for even language improvement. So yeah, you would say these ones are really, really healthy with the use of AI tools. They are. But we have another section. That's the third section. They are the builder. They use AI creatively to solve problems. They use AI to research deeply. They use AI to prototype ideas and to learn faster. They use AI for innovation. Now, the future will not belong to people who merely use AI. The future will not belong to people who merely use AI. The future will belong to those ones who can think clearly. Those ones who can think clearly with AI. So the future belongs to those who can think clearly with AI. All right, sorry, please.
Please, let's be with him as he sets up his presentation slides. Thank you. So we can equally help you project if you have any technical challenge. You can forward to us and we'll help you project here.
All right. Okay, I'll try to do that now.
Okay, I think you have to change your video source. I think it's showing from iRoom, if
No,
I'm not mistaken.
that's what I'm trying to deal with now. I'm so sorry. Just
please, while we are waiting for him, you can drop in our questions. If you have not clocked in, you can clock in. The link is on our chat, in chat in this Google Meet. Can equally follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and all the social media platforms. The links has been provided, and you can engage and follow us. Thank you.
all right. Since I don't know, since I'm having a problem with this, I think let me just go on with this while I'm still trying to sort this. I want us to really get into something that is more like a practical thing, a practical session here, and where I want us to okay, let me just get on. I actually had these things online and I'm just trying to retrieve it. I'm having a problem accessing it again. I'm just so sorry about that. Yes. Okay. So there's a framework I actually want to propose. It's called the Think framework. THINK. The Think framework. That's when our practical use now of an AI without really losing our minds, where we get involved in what we do. All right. The T is for think first. So before you're using AI, what exactly do I know? What do I know already? Or what do I think? So AI shouldn't be your first thought. AI is not the one giving you what to think of. The next is the H. Have questions. Good AI users actually ask good questions, because what we call prompting for our AI is basically our own mind now. It's more like you are trying to explain your problems to the tools. So I was trying to put up some things together. When I started using AI, basically that's with ChatGPT. We all know when ChatGPT came up and all of that. At first, I was in university then. I actually didn't want to use the tool because I felt like this is not going to be my work. I won't use my mind and all of that. But later on, I was now trying to learn to use the tool And for all the things they talk about, okay, when you use ChatGPT for this, this is going to be the output, and some of the information is not correct and all of that. For me, I was looking at it this way, like, how do I now use this tool to learn how to use the tool and then be more productive with what I'm doing? So it's you now communicating. So students who really get to use AI tools very well are students who are able to really communicate. So they are able to like sell their minds, okay, what exactly I'm thinking and all of that. And they are the ones who are able to use these tools very well. Now, have good questions. The questions are the prompts, the things you are giving to AI, you are telling it, okay, this and that. Then the H, that's H, have good questions. I is investigate. You verify your output, because sometimes truly AI can hallucinate. It can give you responses that are absolutely wrong. You have to call his attention again, like, how far this thing you are saying is not correct, that kind of thing. So like that. Then you fact check, you compare with the sources, just like the first speaker said to us. Then the N, never copy blindly. Never copy blindly. If you cannot explain it, don't submit it. So if you are done with your work and you use AI tools, for instance, to do your assignment or something, don't just stay with it like that. Get to it, try to understand it. K is keep your mind active. Because if a machine lifts all your weights for you, your muscles will actually disappear. So I was saying, I want to run down something. So I want to find out from here, the category of students really I would be talking to. Okay, I'm seeing that. Let me just run through again. The think, T is think first. H, have questions. I, investigate. N, never copy blindly. K, keep your mind active. Keep your mind active. So yeah, now I want to find out the people I have here. For instance, if you're in secondary school and you're preparing for WAEC, how are you going? Okay, they're writing WAEC now. Those ones are in secondary schools, and then first year in university, second year in university, whatever the course may be. Now, how do you use AI tools to really improve your work? This is where I'm going to get to present, but I want this to be a little interactive. So can I get someone who will just tell me about, if you're in university, just give me your course of study, and then one of the courses, let's see how to work out something with it. Or if you are in secondary school here, and just indicate, I don't know, the anchor, if you can help me just identify someone who I'll speak with, that will be a representative for the rest of the class. All right, can I get a representative? Oh, now it's coming up. Can I get a representative, please? If someone from the class who is going to, who am I going to speak with? I really just want to speak with one person from the class, and then we'll get to work together. Anyone? Okay, I'm seeing a hand. Okay, two. Oh yeah, three now. So, all right. Fadeniko Oba Lolua. Can you unmute your mic? So tell us, please, what's your level of education currently?
All right. Good evening, sir. I'm 200 level physics electronics.
Physics electronics. Okay, physics electronics 200 level. I wish I can really get some of them at. Okay, let's go. Physics electronics 200 level. What do you give me one course you are actually dealing with now? One of your courses.
That would be basic electronics.
All right, basic electronics.
Yes. Sir.
So now watch. I am a student. This physics electronics. What's the name of your school?
Federal University of Technology, Akure.
FUTA.
Yes, sir.
FUTA. I need to prepare for a test in was you said basic electronics, right?
Yes, sir.
Basic electronics.
Yes, sir.
What's the cost? What's the cost code? Let me just look like what
Now,
you do.
210.
Okay, THY 210. 210. I need help. Can I get some materials for study? Now, I'm assuming that, and that's because I don't have access to it. I'm assuming that you don't have the course materials, you don't have anything, and maybe you've been away from school. Because what's best for us is to get, for instance, like even if it's your course outline, there's no time. If not, I would have asked you to just send maybe your course outline for this, so we would have it more tailored. So now, this is my first statement. Can I get some materials for study and all of that? Now, my aim is to build not just the material for me to study. I want to prepare for a test. And I'm not telling you this now to not read your book or not read your material, but this is how you can use AI tools to really boost your production. All right, so does this look like what you're doing? Atomic structure and electrical conduction, semiconductors physics.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
respond. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. PN junction, diode, and all of that. All right, fine. So, yeah, somebody said something about being polite with AI, that it helps them, it makes the tool respond to you, even giving you a kind of premium version that you don't necessarily have access to. Sorry. Yeah. So now the next thing I'll say is, sorry, can you still see my screen?
No, sir, we can't see your screen.
Okay, I'll share. I'll share it again. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I've not had this kind of experience before. A device seems to be acting up today. How about now?
Yes, we can see it now.
All right. So thank you. So I haven't been in class, in class, and need to understand and prepare for my test. Could you guide me? Now, can you see that I'm not just asking it to generate questions for me, because that's what most people would do. Can you generate questions for me? Or this is my material. Generate questions for me and let me know. Okay. And generate questions for me, and then let me, and then you'll see another response generate answers for me from this. It's not just going to be blind. Now, this is more like it's the way artificial intelligence is designed is to try to mimic. It does not exactly get it right. That's our emotional beings, but yeah. So it tries to communicate with it from that point of emotions. I think I will just continue verbally. My device seems to be giving me some kind of tough time today. All right, so now the question I ask next is, I've not been around. Can you guide me? Now it's going to provide a guide. Sometimes I would ask it to put it in a structural outline so that I'll be able to follow systematically. Then other times, maybe I don't have enough time or to go through all the materials. Because if, like I told you, if I had the materials here, I'm going to attach them like a file. Now, you would, okay, I would want to also point out here, if you're using, because most students use the free version of these tools, if you're using a free version, it may be difficult for you to access a number of files in that time frame you have. One of the things you can do is to upload those files. Maybe you can upload them on your drive or something, grant access to your AI tool, to your drive, and then all you'll be doing is just to paste the link. So it's not really carrying the heavy file, but it has access to the information from there. My stuff is hanging today. I'll just continue answering. So it could have access to what you're doing there. Now you'd ask it, can you guide me? Can you guide me to prepare for a test? It's going to give you a structure, what it thinks like it could do. And then you are now going to go through it and say, okay, could you explain to me this part, whatever part you don't understand? I'm seeing a response now. So this is like a general overview. First of all, this is going to help me to understand what the course really is talking about from beginning to the end. I don't know the details yet, but I have something to start with here. So remember the thing. You do not just you have questions, and then the I is that you interrogate, you check through what you're doing. So it's for you now to go through what you have here. You can see the examples, you can see what it is. Then you cannot tell it that, okay, you are saying something here, say you should practice at least 20 questions involving Ohm's law. Many tests begin from there. Then I'm not going to tell it, okay, can you help me? Can you give me some of these questions? Now I want you to grade the questions. I want you to make some very simple and friendly. Then you give me questions that are intermediate, and then you give me like 4 very tough questions. Now it's going to give you the questions. You try first of all to respond to it. This is physics, so you have to do a lot of calculations sometimes. So try to attempt it. Now, if you're not getting it right, you can now ask it step by step. And those questions it has given to you, can it give you a breakdown of the solution in a structured way that will help you? And mind you, don't fail to tell it that I still don't understand this. Can you explain it well to me? So if I'm asking for that breakdown now, I'm going to either ask for a detailed breakdown, or I would ask it to give me in a very, very clear format that I would easily understand. So it's going to give you, for instance, it may give you some questions in using Ohm's law, just like I said, and then the tough questions, you're now asking it to break it down. It's going to break it down. So it's now up to you to now get to go through it. Now, if you're going through it and then there's a part of it you don't understand, it's prompt. You prompt it again, just send it a message. Now you communicate with it like you're communicating with, you have a lesson teacher. So I'm now using ChatGPT as my lesson teacher. Now, mind you, it's not going to write my test for me or my exams for me, but it's going to help me understand this course. That means that course that's going to take me an entire semester, it's supposed to take me an entire semester to learn. I can sit down and in less than a week, maybe if I'm going to commit 2 days to it, I will be done with the course. I have an understanding of the course. Now, most smart students, this is what they do. When they get to school, you're just resuming in the university, and your first 2 weeks, Whereas everybody is just going around, maybe lectures have not started seriously. You have 1 or 2 lectures in a week. You get your materials and gather it. Even the ones you don't have, you can have different sections. That's why in AI tools here like this, like even ChatGPT, you can create a project space. So that project space for you now could be for your coursework in 300 level. So 300 level first semester coursework. You now have different chat spaces for your different courses. Now, in all of these chat spaces, okay, since it's a project, I really wanted to do all of these things here for you to see, but my device is really malfunctioning. It's just happening just all of a sudden. So you could now go to the project and give it underlying instructions. That's project space. You are telling it that, okay, I want you to communicate with me. I don't understand anything. Deal with me like I don't know anything. And the materials I'm going to be giving to you in the different sections, I want you to break it down to me in a way I can assimilate it. And then you would also give it an instruction that, mind you, the questions that my lecturer is going to be giving me in exams, they are going to be tougher than what you are giving me. So can you give me standard work? For instance, for those who are writing WIRE, most of their past questions are online. There was a time I had to produce a repository for a school in Abuja. It was going to be, I think, yeah, it's chemistry, and it's the practical manual. And it took me, I told them I was going to do it in 2 days, even though I knew, just like the other person was saying, I knew I could walk through it in 2 hours or 3 hours like that and get to go through format, fix all the formatting and everything. So what I had to do was, can you please, that's me now giving instruction to AI. I'm saying this because of those who are secondary school students here. So I'm preparing for an exam, preparing for WIRE. Can you please check the past questions for the last 5 years or for the past 7 years? Those questions are online. So I'm trying to build a database for it to give me responses on. So can you build, that's what I did that time. I said, check out, can you prepare, this is what I want to do. I want to prepare a chemistry manual for my school, and I want it to be WIRE based, but not just WIRE standard. I would also want you to consult GCE and NECO standards, because these students are also going to prepare for the same exams. So I want you to consult all the past questions, and then I got access to the curriculum. So I think I didn't upload the curriculum. I just pasted the link so that it would check it. Now, it was able to extract all the topics because I wanted to see what it understands. So it extracts all the topics. I can see the topics. And then I can go through what's under each of the topics, the area of concentration and everything. Then now, can you prepare a manual? I was preparing a manual. So it's more like I'm building a handbook. So I asked it to now give me the structure. I followed through the structure and then questions under each section. So that under each section, I want to have like 2 to 3 questions. After having the questions, I go to the solution. I review the solution to ensure it's correct. And then we have the practice question. Now, you could do this for yourself as a student, whether in the university or in secondary school. You can give prompt AI like this. Like I was saying, for those of you in university, you have a project folder, and then you give it underlying instruction. Why do you have to give it underlying instruction? Because that instruction helps to synthesize and synchronize all of your activities in that folder. So you're telling me that I want it to be simple, I want it to be basic, try as much as possible not to use vague words. I don't want jargons. I don't want anything that's going to be confusing. I want it to be simplistic as possible, but yet thorough. It's very important. That instruction is also very important. So the next thing is that I now have different chat spaces inside that folder. So for instance, like for this, you have physics 101, 201, you have physics 213, you have physics 242, and all of that like that. So I have the materials in each of these sections. Now, after it has extracted the scheme, maybe I have the scheme of work, maybe I send the scheme of work, or maybe I don't have the scheme of work. I generate a structured outline for myself. Then I use it for study. So can you explain this to me? All I just need to do is go through the explanation it is giving. The ones I don't understand, you prompt it back again. I don't understand this section. Can you explain it? Or can you give me an example? Maybe, some of our textbooks, like our physics textbook, most of those examples are usually foreign examples and all of that. So I want something relatable to my own Nigerian space. I want something relatable to my African society. Then I can get an example from there that would deal with this and make it very, very clear to me. Then going to the questions, like, can you bring out questions for me that I could use? Or can you give me a mock test or a mock exam? And then maybe send some questions and I'm like, I don't want this. These ones are looking too basic. Can you increase the difficulty? Make it very tough. And then you try out yourself. You practice with those questions. The truth is that if you learn to study like this, you would actually be better than your lecturer or your teacher because you are far more prepared than these lecturers. Just for instance, now we saw Doc was explaining that teachers could use these tools to prepare their questions and all of that. Sometimes they may not be as thorough as you are in your study. So if you would really employ these tools to study, you would be more effective in your productivity, in your outputs than many others. I think I've burned a lot of my time. I don't know. Do I still have? It is 7:30 already.
I think maybe questions can start coming in.
Yeah, I saw some of
Yeah,
them even in chat space. Many of them I would like to respond to.
Please, let's make use of Glamour to drop our questions. If you have not used Glamour, the link is on the chat. Use Glamour. The link is on the chat, and we'll be waiting for your questions there. Thank you. So you can summarize if you so wish.
All right. All right. So basically what we're trying to say is that you should use AI wisely. The students who will thrive in the AI era, they are not the ones who depend on AI the most. They are the ones who actually still remain curious, remain disciplined, thoughtful. They are still creative, and they are deeply human, even while using AI. So your brain is still your greatest technology. Your brain is still your greatest technology. You know, AI really amplifies whoever is using it. A disciplined student becomes more effective when he uses AI. But the lazy student actually becomes more dependent and then becomes worse. A student who is curious becomes more innovative when using AI. A student who is careless will become more confused and more scattered while using AI. So somehow AI kind of reflects the way you think. So even if I have to respond to an assignment or a task I have to do using AI tools, you are going to really know whether I understand what I'm saying by what the kind of output I have or I get from it. So as much as you use AI, yeah, learn to use it, practice with it, work with it, and yes, work with it, but do not let it replace your brain. Where in this era of infinite information, endless notification, a lot coming and calling our attention that try to shorten even our attention spans. But we can be curious and still disciplined. We can be thoughtful, creative, and deeply human. And then when you add AI to this quality you have naturally, you'll be more productive. Thank you very much. Let me take your questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Can we a round of applause for him? Thank you so much. We are so sorry for the challenges you had with your device. We'll plan better and we'll do better. Thank you once again. Please, our galore is still open. You can still make use of the link. I'm sorry I've been pronouncing it wrongly. It's galore, not glamour. So let's bring in our questions. Let's keep our questions pouring in. I think so far we just have only one question. Maybe it's because of it's a practical section. That's why we don't have many questions. But since somebody is already bringing up one question, can take that. So the question goes, please, how do we manage AI inaccuracies in some cases? Yes, sir.
All right. So, like I said at the beginning, I gave you this think thing. So the first T is to think first. And in thinking first, before you're asking AI anything, you are saying, what do I already know? And what do I think? So AI is not your first thought. It's what you know first of all. Now put together what you know, piece your information, all that you have. And then sometimes, like the first speaker was saying, you first of all build your database. For instance, there was something I was working on first, and I needed to gather a lot of information, a lot of references. And I had to first of all build a bibliography of almost 300 references first before I start anything. So there are different AI tools for different purposes. Yeah, AI may be inaccurate, but there are there are AI tools that are kind of, the accuracy is somewhat of 90 to 95%. They work with verified facts. Well, we may not have to the resources to do all the subscription because there are so many of them. But you can use that same AI tool to verify its own information. So, for instance, it's giving me some things that are like facts and then maybe solutions to problem. Of course, AI has improved. I remember when ChatGPT 3.5 was out. I was trying to use it to solve some of my equations, and I'm like, no, this response you are giving to me, this answer is not looking correct. And like that was the level of his information. When 4.0 came out and then 4.0 mini, it was more accurate. So they are actually improving on the accuracy. We now have 4.5, 5.50, and all of that. So the accuracy is actually improving. But even if you're using ChatGPT, for instance, you know that the first few prompts you have, I've forgotten the number of prompts, and it's not even based on the number. It depends on the kind of task you're giving it to do. So it's still working with its best version. Well, I would want to tell you that best version is not actually its best version, but it is best version for you as a free user. Now, the information is given to you that time. You can trust it at least up to 90%. No, 90% is too high. At least up to 85%. Now, when it tells you that you've used your free trials and then you are actually now going to be moved to a less standard version, of how it puts that sentence. Now, don't trust the information that is coming from that point. That 3.5, don't trust, just pause. Go and do other things. It's not going to take long. After 2 hours again, you'll be able to use it like that. Well, they are trying to improve on it, and there's a lot. So it's important for you to verify the information that comes from it. But if it is those information that is general knowledge, like most of the things you're doing in school, they are kind of general knowledge. It's part of its knowledge base. Or if it is from a material, maybe you have a book, you have a document, and you've attached that document to the charts, it's going to be nearly 95, 98% accurate. But when the chart is now becoming too long, it loses track of its memory. What you can now do at that point is to reinforce the information that you've given to it before. So by reinforcing the information, how do you do it? You can re-upload that document again. So it does not need to go back to think from the instructions you've given to it before. It continues from where you are there. The same thing, it may not be a document now. It may be the basic information you've given to it before. So when the chart is getting too long, reinforce the instructions. You will come again and say, okay, this is what I've said, this is what I've said you should do, this is what I've said you should do. When you also find out that you can trace some little errors, point his attention back to it. You can now tell ChatGPT that, okay, that thing you said, this one, it appears to be incorrect. This one appears to be incorrect. Can you check through what you've been giving me and extract, like point out the errors? By itself, it will locate its errors and all of that. So let me not beat too much on it. So it's just the way you get to use more and more. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I believe that was really trashed out. I think with that, we'll be coming to an end of this session. And I believe that we grabbed one or two things, even though we had some challenges, technical challenges here and there. I believe that we grabbed one or two things. However, we'll be moving next to our demo to equally show how you can launch in to begin to learn, how you can begin to engage this knowledge and get your hands on it. With that, I'll be inviting my colleague, Mr. Promise, for the demo. Welcome, Mr. Promise. You have the floor now. Are you there, sir?
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I think that. Thank you so much for joining us from the beginning of this symposium. Thank you so much for all those of us who have waited until this time. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our first speaker. Thank you to our second speaker. Thank you for the time. Thank you for making our time to be with us. We're already closing. We've spent some time looking at how AI affects education. Yes, and I believe that we'll be able to pick a theme or two. But briefly, before we go, we just want to we just want us to just a few things. I just want to share my screen. Just hold on a bit. I'll share my screen now. Okay.
The story of AI peers. It all started with a big question. How do we keep up with a rapidly changing world? That quest began with a simple yet profound realization. The world was changing faster than people could learn. New tools, new skills, and new opportunities were emerging at an unprecedented rate. Sadly, millions were being left behind, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked proper guidance. So we built AI peers, a truly different kind of learning hub. Place where anyone, student, teacher, or professional, could learn AI without fear or confusion. We made it structured enough to give clear direction, yet human enough to provide genuine support. At AI Peers, we ensure you don't walk alone on your learning journey. To achieve this, we developed specific tools and environments that redefine the learning experience. We created roadmaps that feel less like assignments and more like adventure journeys toward mastery. Our communities feel like supportive families, fostering shared learning and genuine connection. Masterclasses feel like front row seats in a football pitch, dynamic, engaging, and focused on real-world application. And our buddies feel like true partners in progress, ensuring you always have someone by your side. Step by step, AI Peers grew into something greater than just a learning platform. It became a powerful movement, empowering people everywhere to learn, build, and belong in the exciting AI era. Today, thousands are learning with us. Tomorrow, millions will, because the need for guided AI education is universal. At AI Peers, our core belief drives everything we do. We fundamentally believe the future isn't built solely by experts, but by learners who dare to begin their journey. And we are committed to walking with every single one of them, every step of the way.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will just quickly take us through our platform now. Okay, so like we said, this is AIPS, and yeah, so on AIPS, one of the things that we do, so we are not hoping that after this symposium we just go back and then we don't learn or we don't practicalize all that we've learned. So we have our platform, our AIPS platform, where you can Amazement. So, okay. Let me just give me a moment. Okay, yes. So now on our platform, we have various roadmaps. You can see have various roadmaps here. AI generalities roadmap. We have our vibe coding, AI product management, prompt engineering, AI content for creators, AI for educators, just like we have today. So we have a roadmap tailored for our educators, those who we are teaching. So you see, transform teaching and learning experiences, both for teachers and students with the AI enhanced tools and methods. So we have AI for high school, that's maybe those joining us from secondary schools and all. Now, when you come to our platform, you get to choose any what's the name, any roadmap that you want to. For those probably that came here as educators, we already have a roadmap here for you. For you, if you probably just joined because you saw AI and then you loved it, there's AI generalist roadmap here where you can join, and then you can learn all that you desire to learn. Just like we had today, we have our master classes where you can always join us. We have a couple of other master classes we've had and symposiums in the past. You can go there and then join us. We have communities where you can discuss a lot of things, and a couple of other things at time will fail us. But we have the link. Please do well to ensure that you follow us on our platforms, follow us on our social media platforms and handles, so that you can keep getting updates from us, and also do well to follow the link. Yes, that's aips.io, aips.io. Remember to follow the link, and then you can go there and navigate through the platform and get all that you need to get and know even much more. I'll just ask that we have a discount. Now we have a discount for students. I'll ask that Mr. Victor will just share that now. There's a discount we're having that's soon closing, so we'll soon be upgrading the prices. We are going to soon be upgrading the prices. So so this is a discount. It's going for only 15,000 for students, and then NYC core members. What do we mean by students? Those who probably are undergraduates or recent graduates. So you're either an undergraduate or a recent graduate, and then you're a core member while you're serving. So we have a discount for you, a 70% off discount, where you can subscribe and then you learn. You have access for a whole year. Yes, for a full year to our platform, and you can learn on any roadmap that you desire to. If you plan your time very well, probably you may be able to finish up to 3 roadmaps at the end of a year if you are very dedicated and very diligent with your work. So please do well to hop on this opportunity early on, because we are going to be upgrading the prices very soon, very soon. So thank you, Mr. Victor. I think basically that will be that for now. Please remember to follow us on social media, not follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, and all the social media handles. The name remains AIPS. AIPS. Just search us and you'll find us. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the time. Thank you for making our time. Please do well to ensure that your ears are to the ground. Very soon you'll be hearing from us again. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Welcome to the story of AI peers. It all started with a big question. How do we keep up with a rapidly changing world? Our quest began with a simple yet profound realization. The world was changing faster than people could learn. New tools, new skills, and new opportunities were emerging at an unprecedented rate. Sadly, millions were being left behind, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked proper guidance. So we built AI Peers, a truly different kind of learning home. A place where anyone, student, teacher, or professional, could learn AI without fear or confusion. We made it structured enough to give clear direction, yet human enough to provide genuine support. At AI Peers, we ensure you don't walk alone on your learning journey. To achieve this, we developed specific tools and environments that redefine the learning experience. We created roadmaps that feel less like assignments and more like adventure journeys toward mastery. Our communities feel like supportive families, fostering shared learning and genuine connection. Masterclasses feel like front row seats in a football pitch, dynamic, engaging, and focused on real-world application. And our buddies feel like true partners in progress, ensuring you always have someone by your side. Step by step, AI Peers grew into something greater than just a learning platform. It became a powerful movement, empowering people everywhere to learn, build, and belong in the exciting AI era. Today, thousands are learning with us. Tomorrow, millions will, because the need for guided AI education is universal. At AI Peers, our core belief drives everything we do. We fundamentally believe the future isn't built solely by experts, but by learners who dare to begin their journey. And we are committed to walking with every single one of them, every step of the way.
Thank you, Mr. Sokuga Victor. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. See you in our next symposium next quarter. God bless you. Bye.